I've had a bit of feedback recently on sort of content marketing, and some of the comments I've heard is like, well, it doesn't do anything. It's just throwing money after good money after bad, which I completely disagree with, like 100%. I think the problem is, I think as business owners, we get used to looking, and I see this is a very identifiable trait of pretty much every business I come across that's basically under 10 million in revenue has this approach where their ROI is tracked on sort of a 30-day or less type window. And so what happens is that, if you put, sort of $500, into marketing, if you do not see at least 500 to, well, actually, if you don't see $1,000 come back in revenue within 30 days, it's considered a loss. This is one of the biggest reasons that, sub 10 million companies stay exactly where they are. And I see this as a growing trend. When you're talking about content marketing, I'll tell you right now, you're looking at an ROI span probably of like 3 to 6 months. However, there's another metric in that nobody's taken into account. You see, when it comes to ads, right, and all the movement is like people are starting to get more and more sort of resilient against ads. They're using ad blockers and so forth. The content that you put out there is going to be the only way that your customer can actually hear you and see you. And so there's another aspect to this, that the ROI is going to be then stretching out to 12 months, maybe even 18 months, which I know for a lot of businesses that can be a really hard struggle. And I'm going to sound really controversial now, but in this particular client's case, I actually told him to get rid of a person in his company. I said, you need to drop somebody's salary because that was costing him about $3,000 a month or whatever it was. And I said, you need to put that into content marketing because that is going to pay bigger dividends and you are more likely to survive doing that than you are in your current state. And I think it's a really hard mind shift. And I see it's weird. There's kind of about 3 or 4 stages of mind shift as a business owner that you kind of go through. And, we kind of all go through them. But this kind of like under 8-figure revenue mindset is the ROI issue. And it's like, well, I'm not getting enough leads in, thus this isn't working. And the reality is that what's happening is that, Google doesn't immediately on organic search doesn't immediately sort of turn on and like you've got thousands of visitors because you wrote one article. It's a collection. It's Google starts to see you as an authority in that area. It's the same with LinkedIn, it's the same with Facebook. It's like the more content you're putting out there, but you don't see that return on revenue initially. Now, just a quick thing, if you're looking at ways to track that type of sort of branding, so obviously if you're doing articles and so forth, you can use link tracks in Google Analytics and get back. Another great way to test your branding reach would actually be look at the direct searches. So anybody that's basically typing in your name into Google and coming to your site, you want to be tracking that. Now, obviously, if you've got a login portal or something, you want to obviously be able to section that traffic out. But anybody just type in your browser straight in, so there's no referring traffic, there's brand awareness. And of course, if they're just typing your name into Google and you're coming up, that would be brand awareness as well. So that's a great way to track that type of content ROI that starts to happen. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to make that point because I see this as a common trend. It's like under 20 employees and under like 10 million in revenue. There seems to be a more common mindset. I mean, it's kind of probably under about 5 million if I'm truly thinking about this. Of that, well, I've spent $1 today, I need to get $1 back tomorrow. And that right there will prevent you from growing. You will never ever grow with that mindset. Every company out there that has grown beyond that thinks in terms of ROI in a lot longer periods. And so they start looking, well, how much could that customer be worth for the lifetime? Is it going to take me 9 months to bring that person in? So if you've got any examples yourself, please let me know in the comments below. I'm really interested to read about this. Like I said, this is something I'm personally sort of seeing and experiencing myself, and I just kind of wanted to get that message out there. All right, thanks.